Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another. I don't know, maybe I go an hour and a half tonight, hour or something like that. Yes, I did see Donald Trump had a town hall. I didn't watch it though. I've watched a lot of Trump events. It's mainly going to be the same stuff talked about. When Trump does a rally with Elon, I'll certainly watch that. Trump was vibing out. I did see that clip. That was pretty cool. What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? My day's going all right, man. We had a pretty cloudy day today. Honestly, it's getting a little bit. It's like in the 50s in Ohio here. Someone asked me about Moreno, about the commercials about Moreno. Yeah, it's just all abortion. All of it is abortion against Moreno, and they're playing that phone call in the commercials as well. You're right, they are. But they're going after. I mean, because that's the one issue. Think about the Democrats. They're in a bad spot in Ohio. Ohio is conservative, but Brown is the incumbent. He's won. He's got the advantage hypothetically, but the state is to the right, so they're trying to win. And they're doing the whole thing where they're like, well, Brown is more of a moderate because they know the state's conservative. It's an interesting strategy. But that's what they have to do because they know the state's conservative. So like, well, Brown's a moderate. And then Moreno does commercials talking about how Brown has voted with Biden 97% of the time or something like that. I mean, there's just so many of these commercials. They're on all the time here. You hope Fox News just does a hit piece on Kamala. I think they're going to try and embarrass her, honestly. I think Fox News is really pissed off that they didn't get a debate, so they didn't get that viewership. And they're going to try and have a real big situation on Wednesday. I'm going to have to be live for that. I don't know if that's at 7 or 8. Do I really think Harris will go on Rogan? I never saw anything about Harris going on Rogan. I don't know. Maybe if she gets desperate enough. I don't know. Yeah, Trump is going on Rogan. We don't know when. You think that commercial will damage Moreno? Honestly, it probably will. But I don't think, as long as Trump wins Ohio by 9 points, I mean, certainly Moreno's going to perform worse than Trump. We all know that. But if Trump wins Ohio by 9 points and Moreno loses, there's something really bad about Moreno if that's the case. I mean, come on. That's a bit ridiculous. If the president wins by 9 and the senator loses. Abortion is the Dems' trump card. Yeah, well, I mean, I would say the top. You could argue that what's the most important issues, but I would say 1 through 3: immigration, inflation, economy, and then they'll say abortion, and abortion would be like fourth or fifth, I would say. But I guess it depends on the voter. If you talk to some of the women, it's abortion is pretty high up there. But I think generally it's the top three are immigration, economy, inflation. And in inflation, it kind of goes along with economy. And then crime is like 5 or 6. Abortion's like fourth. Georgia versus Texas. That should be a good game, man. Kamala won't go on Rogan. Yeah, I don't think she will either. I never even heard a rumor about that. I was watching that debate between Destiny and Owen Schroyer. Dude, those debates, I don't know, the structure of those is a little bit off to me. How do you get 7 minutes on an opening statement? You're debating someone and they get 7 minutes. I mean, how do you respond to that? They're going to say 100 things. You watch Destiny just spew all this fucking BS. It's like, I mean, which one do I pick to respond to? But I was watching that. Watch streamer do algebra 2 homework. Oh man, I was not good at algebra. I was good at simple math, but when you get into like 7th, 8th, ninth grade, I was not good at algebra. Would you react to a Kamala rally live? I mean, sure. That would probably be more funny than Trump because I'd be able to interrupt a lot more than with Trump because I know people want to hear Trump, but I feel like I'd be able to interrupt more with Kamala. But with Kamala, I don't know what, she does these rallies. I'll have to find one. The rallies just kind of creep up. Like I try and find Kamala's events. You search, you'll find Trump events real easily because they got him on his page. But with Kamala, it's harder. The audio was so bad. Well, at the beginning of the debate, they did Schroyer's audio wasn't even working. He had to use a mic. Did you see that? Kamala is the weakest, most liberal, least intelligent presidential candidate you've ever seen. Winston Churchill says that. Well, listen, it's understandable. She's just not, they would have never picked her. This was not their first choice. They had to remove Biden because of his horrible debate. I mean, that's just, see, the thing is, this is something that I dispute. A lot of conservatives are like, oh, this was their plan all along. I highly doubt that. I just think they were trying to get Biden over the finish line again. That was an incumbent advantage they had with Biden that they gave up because he was so bad. But I think they wanted to try and get Biden over the finish line. How did you think Schroer did? I didn't watch all of it, so I would have to. But I mean, dude, like when I was watching it, it's like they give Destiny 7 minutes, and then Schroer's, it's like, okay, you just said 500 things. Which one do I respond? It's like, I don't know about the structure of giving a 7-minute opener. Yeah, I'm going to have to play this Larry David thing. I already saw it, but it is pretty crazy.
The whole 2020 election and everything that has flowed from it pissed you off.
Oh, I mean, you can't go a day without thinking about what he's done to this country, because he's such a little baby that he's thrown 250 years of democracy out the window by not accepting the results of an. I mean, it's so crazy. He's such a sociopath. He's so insane. He just couldn't admit to losing. And we know he lost. He knows he lost.
Notice the gaslighting. This is what they always do. And by the way, another thing, well, let me just say this. This is what they'll do. He knows he lost. Listen, you say he's this horrible person, he's delusional. Well, then wouldn't that in line with the fact that he would think he won? Like, I genuinely believe that Trump in his heart thinks that he probably won that election. But this is what they do. They do the gaslighting argument where they're like, he knows he lost. He just won't admit it. And then they'll argue the exact opposite by calling him delusional. Well, if he's delusional, wouldn't he think he would? I mean, I think Trump thinks he won. And by the way, the Mark Zuckerberg letter, you know, it just, and pay no attention to the 3 years that we sat through the Russian hoax where they couldn't admit that they lost. And that was even worse than the Trump January 6th thing. The Trump January 6th thing was a day. The Russian hoax was 3 years of an investigation. We lost a lot of money going through, and a lot of time going through that investigation.
And look how he's fooled everybody. He's convinced all these people that he didn't lose. He's such a sick man.
He fooled Mark Zuckerberg. These people are just delusional. I don't even think he knows about Zuckerberg's letter. It's just the dumb talking point. It's just such a low political IQ thing. Dude is half bald. Well, I think that's his hairstyle. That's been his hairstyle for a while. In all of Kamala's TikTok and Insta comments, it's largely hate. I mean, that is pretty crazy, man. You would think they would do better with those accounts because of the young people, but they get trounced on social media. Son of Liberty, I'm going to have to start raising the minimum donation to $100. No, I'm kidding. I was born in a small town. I was born in a small town. Timmy Walz. Yeah, I don't think that Tim Walz thing was true, by the way. Dude, it's crazy how people are monetizing things on X by creating false stories, and they're making money off of it. I'm sure you guys know I'm talking about, like, the dude, and then he said he didn't know how to make a thread, so he gets more engagement by putting the tweets up. And it's like, bro, come on. The Tim Walz fake scandal. What was the internal Republican polls you mentioned in the video earlier today? It was Trump +4 in Ohio. I mean, they were not good internal polls, but I'm not even sure it was a good internal pollster. And a lot of those internals that get leaked, they're not the real internals, because real internals normally don't get leaked. But those were not good internal numbers for Trump. Virginia early voting is looking great. I mean, we'll see what happens, man. Early voting is very, very hard to decipher whether it's, I mean, I guess you go by enthusiasm. I think the one thing, but it's just so hard to decipher because, like, even if you say, well, all the Republican counties, more Republicans are going, so that's a sign of enthusiasm. But it's different this cycle than it was in 2020 and even 2016 with the amount of Republicans embracing early voting. I mean, Republicans used to vote early, and then Trump said, no, you shouldn't do it. And then 2020, obviously everything changed, but now they're going back to it. So people are comparing 2020 to now, but it's very hard to do that. Can we all GameStop Dark MAGA? Probably. Listen, I think we could. I think when I live stream for Dark MAGA, listen, if it goes up to like 20 million, we could. The thing is, dude, it has to start trending on like Dex Tools and all this shit. You know how it is with these meme coins, man. You have to get, there's like a wick that has to create it. It's hard to create the wick. But I mean, I obviously think it should be a lot higher than it is. Bro, I don't have you muted, man. I don't know what you're a mod. Why would I mute you? Why, I'm not. You better thank a union member. Yeppers. You better thank a union. Should I have just said it twice with no interruption? Internal polling is very sketchy. Trump's campaign internals predicted he would lose in 2016. Well, I mean, pretty much every poll predicted Trump would lose in 2016, to be fair. I mean, those were some crazy, crazy numbers. I mean, it's not like internal polls are 100% correct. It's good to see people pushing back against this. I feel like with the whole Columbus thing, like it was commonly known, like, oh, fuck Columbus. But now people, maybe it's just my algorithm, but people are pushing back against it now. Like, yeah, it is Columbus Day. They change it to Indigenous People Day. That's literally the opposite of what Columbus Day was intended for. And it's like they troll when they do it. And liberals still recognize it as Indigenous People Day. You know, the Gallup poll is not worrying because if you take the average, it's still Republicans +1. Let's get another Gallup poll update. That was a weird update. You're not going to go a 7-point swing in terms of party ID in the span of a month. That makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Become an NPC streamer. Yeah, right. Isn't that that's what they do on TikTok? Walz, Whitmer. I don't know what clip that is. There's been a lot going on with Whitmer. She's been doing some weird shit. I'll say how much. You're beginning to question Walz's claim that he stormed the beaches of Normandy in World War II. Well, I mean, if you saw how he loaded that gun, I mean, it's believable. If Trump is anywhere near just +4 in Ohio, yeah, he wouldn't win the Rust Belt. No, I agree with you, but he's not +4 in Ohio. That's a crap poll. How did you get into politics? Just when I was 15. When I was 13, I was kind of interested in it, but that was like, it would have been 2013. That was like Obama's second term. But like the first election that I do remember the Romney election, but I really wasn't like passionate for Romney or anything. I was too young. But like when I was 15, the Republican primaries is when I really got into it. So 2015. Just Trump and the fact that like it's funny because the first debate I ever watched live was in Cleveland, and which is not near me, but close enough. It was at Quicken Loans Arena, which is now Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, actually. But it was the big Republican debate when Megyn Kelly was like, "You've called women you don't like fat dogs or pigs. Only Rosie O'Donnell." Mr. Trump, it was much more than just Rosie O'Donnell. Yes, I'm sure. That was a good moment. That poll said, yeah, you're right. You're right on that. That internal poll did say Cruz was only up by 1 in Texas. Whitmer's look into the camera after eating Doritos. You know she had to apologize for that because they were tying it to religion. Hilarious. Your dad thinks Sherrod Brown will win by 1 to 2 points. I mean, I would be surprised. I mean, that would be Trump winning Ohio by like 6, and I could see Brown eking out a victory maybe. But that would be a big surprise. Why would Trump only win Ohio by 6 if he won it in a much worse environment in 2020 by 8. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Trump gets 312 and wins the popular vote by 1.2. I'd say maybe wins the popular vote by like 0.5, I'd say. Dude, you just put the emoji for the attention grabber. Oh, that's interesting, man. What are the odds Trump wins the popular votes or the electoral college? You mean? I still think it's like a 75% chance, 80% chance, maybe. I mean, I think Trump's gonna win, really. The town hall made you feel what happened during the town hall? That's a third comment I've seen about the town hall being weird. Did something happen at the Trump town hall, you're saying? Do you think Cruz is in trouble? No, I don't. I think Cruz is going to win by about 4 or 5. You live in Ohio, Trump's going to win Ohio by 10. Well, I live in Ohio as well. I mean, it's probably going to be, I have about a 9.5 point victory. What's the most important swing state to win? It would be Pennsylvania. Minimum Trump has 280 right now. Well, if that's the minimum, then that's a win. I mean, someone explain how polls can skyrocket after one assassination attempt, then drop later. Well, I mean, that's response bias after an event. But I mean, I don't even think the polls skyrocketed that much. Like, I mean, I guess they went up a bit for Trump. But remember, when that happened, it was like, that was when Biden was still running. So it was a different environment. Very long, drawn-out music sessions. Oh, that's annoying. I'm glad I didn't stream that then. You hate Ryan Day, Turner. Yeah, Ryan Day's got to win a big game, man. Been doing lots of research on World War II. I used to research World War II in high school on my phone all the time. World War II is real interesting. What the Russians did was nothing short of incredible. Yeah, I mean, the Soviet Union did, and I hate communism, but the Soviet Union, they were by far the biggest part of beating Germany. And they did it with less skilled men. They did it with bodies and also the weather. They just had way too many bodies. And then obviously Japan screwed Russia. Are you selling dark MAGA right before the election or right after? Well, I don't know what it's going to be. That's the problem. I mean, if the coin is not that high in market cap, I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to risk it and hope that Trump wins and then it'll skyrocket it. The problem is with crypto, it's probably a sell the news type event. But I mean, there's no reason for me to sell if it's not at a high market cap. I mean, it's like, can it really go down that much? I mean, you know, if it's at a high market cap, that's when it becomes hard because, you know, if it's over 100 million or something, you're really and you want to hold through election night, you're taking a risk because if Trump loses, it would tank. If Trump wins, it still might tank, or it could balloon even higher if he wins because of the hype. But then there's no real. I mean, I know all these Trump coins are like, oh, we've got real utility after the election. They really don't. I mean, it's just the election hype. That's it. Ashton Genty would be the Heisman favorite. I think everyone agrees on that. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's got an easy schedule, but his numbers are just so crazy. Less skill and worse weapons, too. Oh, yeah. It's just all about bodies. Overwhelming. World War I is more interesting? No way, bro. Than World War II? I gotta go World War II being more interesting than World War I. Search Waltz. All right, I'll search this clip.
Have 4 more years of it. Look, you all know it. We can't have.
Did you just say the F word? No, I'm kidding.
Look, you all know it. We can't have 4 more years of this. We won't have 4 more years of it. We won't. Look.
I mean, they're in office right now. Russia did not have the burden of fighting a 2+ front on different continents. Not to mention Lend-Lease program. Russia gets too much credit. Well, I mean, Russia, let's be honest, Russia won that. I would give Russia about 80% of credit for defeating Germany, man. Look at the losses that Russia suffered. I mean, sure, the British and America helped a bit with Normandy and in invading from both sides, but, I mean, dude, Russia, listen, I don't like communism, and the Russians were not nearly as skilled as the Germans in warfare, but they just had more bodies. And they had the winter, which, by the way, was historically cold. People are like, well, Hitler never should have invaded. I mean, they started Barbarossa. They wanted to start it, I think, in like April, but it got pushed back, and they started it in June. It's not like Hitler invaded with Barbarossa in September. That's what people make it seem. I mean, no, that would started in June, and it just dragged on. And then they got encircled. Feels like Trump turnout campaign is risky third party. Well, no, I think the third party is going to help Trump pretty significantly. That's why Harris is running ads against Stein in a lot of these Rust Belt states. Stein is a big problem. Do you ever refer to the? Yeah, I've seen the greed fear index. I never look at that, man. That index is useless. I mean, unless like it's a real downturn and you can look at it. I mean, I've seen it, but it just doesn't really. I think it's pretty useless, honestly, man. Fear and greed. I just played this clip, bro. I don't know what you want from me. Jill Stein is never giving up. Yeah, I don't know. She wasn't on. I actually forgot that she wasn't on the ballot in 2020, which really affected it, honestly. I mean, Trump barely lost some of those states he possibly would have won. Wait, did Walz had a rally in Green Bay, I guess. Oh, this.
Buck hunter before a guys. JD Vance here, playing a little buck hunter before a rally in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, also known as the closest Tim Walz has ever gotten to real combat. Have fun out there. Hey guys.
Yeah, JD Vance people really are starting to like JD Vance.
What this building behind us represents. So you can see it's all boarded up. This is, of course, the headquarters of the 3rd Precinct, which was burned down. Thanks to,
BLM.
burned out, I should say, thanks to Tim Walz's completely failed leadership. And, you know, talking to these folks behind me, I mean, these are law enforcement officers. A lot of them were here, some of them for many days when this was allowed to happen. And remember, during those riots, these guys were given up for dead. Their police chief told them to stand down, hoping that it would save their lives. A couple of them just told me just now their fear that they would be killed by the violent mob that was attacking this precinct. And the important question is, what were their leaders, in particular, what was Governor Tim Walz doing to keep these officers safe and to bring order to the city of Minneapolis?
They're behind a building that burned down. I mean, it's good propaganda. Are you one of 7 million Ben Shapiro subscribers? I don't think I'm subscribed to Ben. I mean, I've seen some of Ben Shapiro's videos. You know, Ben Shapiro got real big off of doing those short form content. Oh, January 6th. I'm sure they're talking about January 6th. Hopefully, Owen Schroyer talked about the fact that Trump wanted the National Guard there. That's kind of how you nullify that argument. Did you see the town hall concert? No, people are telling me there was a bunch of music during the Trump town hall and it was just a big dance party. I don't know, that's what people were saying. Yeah, I saw Ben Shapiro had Trump on. When was that, like 4 or 5 days ago or something? I saw on X, he was interviewing Trump. Did you see the new Gallup poll? Yeah, I saw it. But if you average it out, it's not bad. Plus, there's going to be another update. I wouldn't be too worried about that. There's no way I'd be able to go to the MSG rally because it's. Are they selling tickets for the Madison Square Garden rally, or what? How is that working? Because there's only a limited number of people that can be there. Yeah, Trump is going on Joe Rogan. He confirmed it himself. I don't know when it's going to happen. I would imagine this week or next week. I mean, you really can't do it after that. When is the Atlas Intel drop? Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. That Atlas is going to have an update. I know Bloomberg's going to have an update. At the town hall, people kept fainting. So Trump just played music. Is that seriously what happened? How many people fainted? And why did they faint exactly? Greg Price. He abruptly cut off the event, then spent 30 minutes simply standing on the stage, looking at his audience with music playing. The guy is such a sleazeball. 2 people in the crowd had medical emergencies, so President Trump stopped the event and asked the audience if they wanted to keep listening to music. So that's what happened, I guess. What was that, a seal? That was a seal. Oh, that's a signature, man. Oh, not this. No. Not the song. Not this. Not the song. Not the bow. He's not going to do the bow. He stopped doing the bow for whatever reason. I'm going to get copyrighted by it now. I'm going to get copyrighted by this. Damn this. I mean, I did make a lot of money off of saying it. I was born in a small town. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a song. There's a Whitmer after her Dorito only diet. Why are people fainting at his rallies? I don't know, man. I mean, this wasn't even an outdoor rally. How do you? I mean, two people fainted at a Trump rally, and he had to stop the overweight women. Is that who? Is that? Are those the culprits? I can't even get that move down, man. That's I don't want to try that move. I'll just embarrass myself. Whitmer is a damn witch. Well, you're going to be even more angry with her. She's going to be in the news a lot, I'm sure, because she's going to be one of the top contenders if Harris loses in 2020. Although they might be done with women if Harris loses, honestly, for them. They might have to go with... they might have to go with a male. They're going to be like, damn it, Hillary lost, Harris lost, but Biden won. It was really hot and people waited for hours. I wonder where it was. Was it inside of like a convention area or something? They wait all day in heat. Well, I'm not sure that was. I mean, it's not hot out at this point. Maybe if it's inside, I could understand. Juan, what's up, man? You always come in here with a nice greeting. I appreciate it. What do you think of 9/11? One of the worst events in modern American history. The Rock is running probably in 2028, although I don't know anymore. Maybe as an independent in 2028. I feel like running as an independent is just a waste of money, but who knows? Do you think Trump wins Virginia? I mean, I would put it at like still a 20 to 25% chance. I mean, I guess there's a little bit better polling there. If anyone get somebody try and find me like a good debate clip of Destiny and Owen Schroyer, and if you link it to me, I'll react to it. Rock and Cuban. No, that would be a liberal ticket. There's no way people would have, because with Cuban's fully liberal. You can't do that. And Rock is I think probably slightly left to center. Mark Cuban versus Elon Musk. That's an annihilation. You got to stop with that. Did I see the anti-Trump movie? I think I've seen. I didn't see it, but I might have seen like advertisements on X for it, or it might be a pro-Trump movie. I'm not sure, but there's something that I saw. Mario, what's up, bro? Most important state to win is Pennsylvania. Poly market popular vote 6% shift in 3 hours. This is what I like to see. This is a good scoop from this person. Wow. Yeah, Trump is trending up in terms of the popular vote, it looks like. Over the past 2 hours, up 6%. Interesting, man. Real interesting. Good news there. Any 9/11 footage of the Pentagon yet? No, you know the only footage that we got was the grainy security. Which, I mean, if you do upscale it, you can see the guys. It wasn't a missile. Let's not do that. I mean, seriously, it was not. But I understand people being surprised that they could get that plane that low, because it was like, I mean, that has to be a very hard thing to do. I'm sorry, to get a plane that low right up against the Pentagon, but not have it skid for significant yards across the ground at that fast of a speed. I mean, it's pretty surprising that they were able to do that. Sup, dude? Do you think Kamala will bomb the Fox interview? I think she's going to struggle, because if she struggled on 60 Minutes, Fox is going to be even worse to her. And Fox, I think, is really trying to get some clips. Remember, Fox News did not have a single debate. They want views, man. They do. They're going to have this. I'm going to react to it, hopefully. Well, maybe live, or maybe right after I'll do a live stream on it or something. Check out the Donald John Trump stock. Yeah, GTA. I would not invest into that. That's, what is it, at a $5 billion market cap? It's a stock. I know. I heard someone was telling me that it was. I'll take a look at it right here. Hold on. I'll tell you how much it's up. It's up 18%. This year, it's not necessarily. Year to date, it's up 71%, I guess. Which for some, it was kind of tanking there for a bit, but it's gone back up. Listen, when it comes to the Trump stock, he has to win. Really. It kind of reminds me like a crypto, because it's like if he wins, the stock's going to do well, but if he loses, it's going to tank. It might be pumping because his election odds are good. I don't know. Even a stock will do that. Trump Media and Technology Group Corporation. Watch Destiny debate Jesse on fire. I thought he was debating Owen Schroyer. Or was that a previous debate you're telling me to watch? 6 billion. I know, but you're not going to make any money off a $6 billion market cap. You might get like a 2x, 3x if you're lucky, if he wins. What's his all-time high? $50? Is that 30 right now? Is it going to be oh no, it'll be an in-person. It's not going to be a Zoom call. No. When they advertise an interview like that, a major network, it's not going to be a Zoom call. What should it be? Well, it's Columbus Day. That's what it is. Chris Wallace flipped out on Trump because his family wasn't wearing masks at the debate. In 2020, you're talking about? Can both Army and Navy make the playoff? No, they can't. It's impossible because they play each other. They'd both have to be undefeated for them to have a chance both making it. Then they play each other. Brett Baer doing the I think he's a fine. I think he's a pretty balanced dude. He'll go after her a bit. Dude, I saw people like bad mouthing him, but people just hate everyone, bro. Like, seriously, I swear on the internet, there is no matter who it is, the internet will eventually just turn on them for sure. It's just how it is. Chris Wallace is a never Trumper. Well, he was a conservative on Fox, and then I think he went to CNN, and he was like the conservative light on CNN. But he's more, I think he tries to fancy himself more as an independent, or like a Romney style conservative, like I'm better than you, I'm better than the Trump. Like a lot of these conservatives that were like Romney people, they think they're like better than Trump era MAGA party conservatism. Do you think Trump will order a special operation in Mexico within the next 2 years? Are you hinting at an invasion of Mexico? Wait, what did Putin say? I think Putin might have said a special operation in Ukraine or something, a military operation. I don't think he's going to invade Mexico. Or are you talking about like trying to take out the cartels? I know Vivek wants to take out the cartels. They're potentially, maybe Trump will try and, no, he's not going to do that, but I was going to say redraw the borders in Mexico and get us more land. But that's not going to happen. I saw the Tropicana demolition. I guess it's official. Zorn76. Wow, man, I appreciate it. That's a nice donation there. An invasion of Mexico would improve Mexico, yeah, but it would hurt the United States. Maybe the only thing you could argue is it would clean up the border, so in the long run it would help, but it would really hurt the United States. An invasion of Mexico. with all of their problems. Unless we just wipe out all the cartels. I mean, Mexico is they're going to be like a failed state until the cartels, something happens to them. It's just such a mess. Like, you watch documentaries on Mexico and the legal system and just the influence that those cartels have. Not even just that, the power that they have. It's infested. That's the best way to describe it. The cartels have infested that country to the point where it's almost impossible for them to, in certain areas, to. I mean, there's just no safety. Yeah, I mean, I talked about Trump trying to buy Greenland. I think he'll probably try and buy it again. I really don't see what Denmark is doing with it. I mean, Greenland itself it's a glacier. It's not, you would have to have a country like the United States that could actually invest money into extracting resources from it to even have, it makes sense for the United States to buy Greenland for the right price, but Denmark can't do anything there. They just don't have the money to extract any of the resources that Greenland has. But Greenland is you really can't live in Greenland. There's no grass anywhere. It's just, I mean, look at the cities in Greenland. Cartel Reddit videos, yeah, they cleaned up a lot of that. There were some real bad gore channels on Reddit, man. Oh man, they cleaned up a lot of those. They nuked a lot of those years ago, or like a year ago. I saw a video of two people, maybe a couple, entering Mexico, and the cartels, they'll just, they've got like 3 or 4 vehicles, and then they got this giant SUV, and they'll try and roadblock you in. And these people, they had to turn around and barely escape it. They grazed up against the SUV, turning around and just going back to the United States. They enter Mexico, a quarter of a mile in, there's a cartel roadblock, and then they're barely able to make a U-turn and escape. Greenland isn't green. Yeah, they really should switch the name of Greenland and Iceland. This poly market is based on popular vote winner. So Trump has moved up to a 32 betting odds, I guess, 32% chance. What is the 9/11 video? It's LOL Superman. And I mean, I'm sure it probably does exist. Greenland would just become a military land plot. Yeah, there would be a bunch of military bases in Greenland. China wanted to build a military base in Greenland. They've got an abandoned military base, but Denmark wouldn't allow it. I mean, that would be bad if China started to get influence in Greenland. Ever since Biden dropped out, the media is now saying Trump has cognitive decline. Yeah, but they're really not saying that. I mean, they started doing that more because I think the Harris campaign's starting to push it, but they really haven't said it much. Greenland has Greenland has something called rare earths. And it would be really good if the United States could get a hold of them. But I mean, they're gonna try. I mean, I asked ChatGPT what would Greenland cost. They were like, well, I don't know, maybe $50 billion. I mean, what is Denmark doing with Greenland? They're not doing much. They don't have they don't have infrastructure to mine resources there. Harris is not going on Rogan. I don't know. Thoughts on Area 51? Well, it's an underground base. That's what Area 51 is. It goes real deep underground. That's really all I know about it. Remember when someone tried to get into Area 50, or I guess people do that, and then they just get turned back? I mean, it's interesting. I think Area 51 in large is probably a dummy base, and they probably got a lot of their important shit probably somewhere else. Although I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, even if it is there, how are you going to get to it? It's all underground. But I mean, you would think if the ultimate security would be to set up a dummy, oh, everything's at Area 51, and then it's actually not, somewhere in Montana or some bullshit. Well, Greenland could become more important, especially if the climate changes up there. That was the idea of buying, part of the idea of why Trump wanted to buy it, but mainly due to the rare earths on there. You don't go on Fox News if you're a Democrat and if you're behind. Yeah, I know. She's obviously really struggling. Her entire operation has changed on how she's handling it. No, I agree with you on Greenland, where Denmark is really struggling with some of the locals there. And it would be a net negative if the United States acquired it, but then it's a long-term thing. It's like the tariffs with Trump. I mean, that's what liberals say, well, it's going to drive up the prices. Well, having this much reliance on China just because they have slave labor is not a good long-term solution. And then, of course, they'll argue the same thing with climate change and how we got to invest in green energy and all this shit, because in 100 years, I think China really needs to make some headway on the climate initiatives, and then the United States will do some stuff. I mean, I'm all for building a massive solar panel farm in Arizona. That's what I would do, but as long as the Chinese do something. But they just won't, they will not budge. I mean, it's more CO2 every single year. It gets worse. The West is decreasing the CO2 emissions, but then they just blame the West. Then they say per capita. Well, per capita doesn't matter in the sense of climate change. And even per capita, it's decreasing in the United States. If we get Greenland, it should be a land preservation. Yeah, they're just going to mine the hell out of it. They'll probably Trump will probably try and acquire Greenland in like 2027 or 2026 maybe. I'm just saying random things, honestly. A more strategic move. I'm against acquiring Haiti personally, man. I would rather the United States acquire the Bahamas. You want them to acquire Haiti and the Dominican Republic? What about Bermuda? I'm trying to think of areas the United States could acquire. I wanted to see if the United States could get those northern territories in Canada. Probably not. The ones that aren't populated. If you get Greenland and those northern territories, you can connect Alaska with the northern territories, then you have Greenland right next to it. Well, this page automatically refreshes. You don't have to refresh it. You see how it's live? You see the little thing? You just saw the fake Lego video. Yeah, man, I would just say message me on Discord. I'll give you some sites if you want. Haiti is a total mess. You know how much money that would cost for the United States? But I mean, I guess no matter if you buy somewhere. Greenland, Mexico invasion. No, I wouldn't invade Mexico. I would redraw the borders, though. But that would be a legal mess as well. Yeah, I would say Bermuda. I want to do a video on the places that the United States should acquire. It's called a territorial expansion, and we do it peacefully. Baja California. That's what I tweeted, man. That's what they should get. That's another one. It's like Bermuda, Falkland Islands. Although that's near South America. I'm not sure if that would happen. Greenland is a main one. Greenland's got to be the main one. Should the U.S. annex Mexican territory? No, I would just say redraw the border with Mexico is what I would do. The problem with Trump's wall is it doesn't fully connect. I mean, the idea of the wall, it's like this grandiose, almost king type thing. And the problem is Trump just didn't have the money to do it properly. Like, you needed a real investment into the wall, and you needed like a grand wall, and they just couldn't do it. So they built this cheap thing that, you know, you can see through and stuff. And I think Trump even said he was kind of pissed off at the way the wall was built. If you look at the wall, I mean, you can see through it. It looks like it's. I mean, I guess it gets the job done, but with Trump, it's almost like he wants to have this legacy, and you want to build this grand wall. You know, the problem with Trump is he said that Mexico would pay for it. He shouldn't have even said that. You could just say, no, it's part of the military budget. And that's what he ended up doing. But the problem is, yes, we could make Mexico pay for it, but it would be a big problem in terms of a disruption with allies, and you would threaten a war, or you would threaten a trade war. I mean, Mexico is very reliant on the United States. It would be a mess. But we could make Mexico pay for it, yes, but it would be not diplomatic. And so that ended up not happening. And that's liberals saying, oh, they own Trump. Well, no, that's actually Trump being peaceful. He could make Mexico pay for it, but it would just be a mess. You like how the young Turks are freaking out? Well, I mean, they're losing members over there. Some of their, you know, Anna's an independent now, but yeah, they're freaking out. All right, I'll change the graph, because we'll change the graph to the right. People are starting to think that Trump's gonna. This is the actual graph on the winner. Oh, this is a massive move for Trump. Even this last week, it's been plus 10 basically the entire week. Dude, you just mentioned a rock climber. You remember the wacko kid that tried to climb the Trump Tower? Was that before Trump won in 2016? And he filmed the video the night before. He's like, and the backdrop was like really dark. He's like, Mr. Trump, I'm gonna climb your tower. And then he tried climbing it with suction cups, and they had to like, he got like halfway up, and then they with these emergency rescues, when people try and climb the towers, they have to take out one of the glass windows and they pull them up. Trump saying Mexico will pay for the wall is, yeah, no, I agree with you. If you could do a political slogan, it's good. It's a political slogan. It doesn't have to necessarily be true. It's good rhetoric. How much was it to get Greenland? Well, it's impossible to say. Nobody knows what Denmark's price would be. But ChatGPT said it would be 10 to 50 billion. I think that's ridiculous. There's no way. I mean, Denmark is just going to have to give it up. They're doing nothing with it. Dude, China would be pissed if we got Greenland. They would lose their mind. I don't think NATO would, or I don't think the European countries would really care. Dude, have you seen the European countries? They love Democrats, man. There was a new poll. I forget which country it was, but it like 80% were Kamala supporters or something, which makes sense. I mean, when you understand, if I was in a European country, I would 100% want Democrats to win. 1,000%. Well, actually, I don't know, because you might be talking about a World War III situation with Democrats, but just in terms of supporting Europe and not an America First policy, 1,000% you want Dems to win. 1,000%. Let's acquire Canada. Well, dude, I saw a poll that Canada's like, the young people are like 70% conservative. Holy hell. No, I wouldn't want to take the lower province of Canada, because they don't want to be Americans. That's fine, but I would want to take the upper regions of Canada, because they're sparsely populated. If you take sparsely populated areas, you don't have to worry about people really being angry, because there's nobody that, I mean, they're and also you're talking about land that might become more viable in the future depending on what happens with the climate. Trump town hall had 2 medical emergencies, and the left is saying that Trump had a stroke because he paused. Yeah, I saw. I mean, that's just typical. I mean, we're in the middle of this election season. Liberals are going to say, oh, Trump, his town hall got ruined. He just played music. He's old. And obviously there was obviously a medical emergency. So it is what it is. They're going to try and criticize him for anything. That's where we're at. Republicans do criticize Kamala as well. I mean, it's just. Ukraine is forced to take. I think Ukraine is looking to end the war. Zelensky said he wanted a ceasefire recently. He knows Trump is going to win. I can't wait for the poly market question. Will Trump buy Greenland? That'll be a peak question. If northern Canada becomes warm, then places like even Virginia are going to be like Florida. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like a century from now for something like that to happen, for a shift like that. My guess is once I think we'll be able to harness all the energy from the sun, and we'll get 100% clean energy long before that. I mean, the sun just produces so much energy. It's absurd. When you're able to get solar panels into space and reflect the energy back to Earth, it's basically unlimited energy for free. I mean, obviously that's going to have to be developed with technology and stuff, but. And plus, you don't have to worry about the sun setting when you get them up there orbiting. MAGA 2024, yes, Sean, yes. I know Trump's been going after Schiff. It's not surprising. I still don't think Putin is going to give back any territory. Well, where is that war right now? Ukraine has some area, I think. Ukraine has some area of Russia. I know Russia has the two regions, and they've held the 2 regions, but I do wonder what Putin would do in terms of a negotiation. Nobody really knows. I mean, we keep talking about it, but I think Putin, I'm concerned that there's not going to be a deal because of Putin. Putin has lost so much to really gain just 2 little regions in eastern Ukraine. I highly doubt he's going to give those up, because that's a loss for Putin if he does that. So it's what does Putin want, and what does Ukraine have to give up to get it solved? And then the liberal viewpoint is, well, it'll just kick back up in 2 years. So what's the point of even doing a peace deal if Putin's just going to rearm and then invade again in 2 years? Greenland is a genius long-term investment. Seward was criticized in the 1816 for buying Alaska from Russia, but obviously Alaska's been a great purchase for like $7 million. I mean, I don't know what it was adjusted for inflation, but I'm not going to change my name, bro. There's no way. YouTubers don't change their names. You can't be changing your name. Good coverage on drama inside the Harris campaign. Yeah, that's from Axios too. Axios is reporting all of this drama. They're not conservative. I mean, this is what's happening, man. It's their campaign is a total mess. And it's obvious. Look at what she's doing. She's going on Fox News. Tim Walz was on Fox News. This is a total change. This is not like, oh, we're winning and we're going to do all this. It's very clear they think they're losing, and they have to take risks by going on these networks to try and jazz up their campaign a little bit and get people talking about them. So I understand it, but it's not good for them. Next election, Greenland is going to be a swing state. I would be fine with giving Greenland one electoral vote. You know, you got to give them one electoral vote. There's only 46,000 people or something. I don't know. Kamala wants to go on Rogan. Are you kidding me? Wow. All right, let's go. I mean, if that's true, honestly, that really wouldn't surprise me. Because they really need eyeballs on them right now. It's got to be DEFCON 1. Greenland is worth way more than 50 billion. Well, it's worth it's all relative. It depends. For the United States, it would be worth way more than 50 billion because we could extract stuff from Greenland. Denmark really can't do that. But I mean, the thing is, if we try and buy Greenland, does it get into a bidding war with someone? But I think we'd outbid anyone. I mean, Trump said he wants to buy it. We'll see if it happens. They said they're not selling it. Maybe Trump will be able to force their hand. I don't know. Russia will take all of Ukraine. Well, I'm sure they want at least half of Ukraine, especially with the amount, how long this war's gone on, the amount of losses they've had. Alaska is 125 million. Yeah, that's a crazy purchase, man. That is a crazy purchase. How come Fox uses fake polls like NBC instead of using the two most accurate pollsters? Well, they just use polls that other major networks, basically. That's why you're not going to see Fox News use an Atlas Intel poll. I think Fox News has used Rasmussen before on their program, although maybe I'm wrong on that. But I feel like they've had the head pollster of Rasmussen interviewed. Sell France back the Louisiana Purchase. What an amazing buy that was. Holy shit, the Louisiana Purchase. I mean, it's all relative. It's what we did with the land. Obviously, that makes it worth a lot, though. So who knows? The French might not have done anything with it. It's like the whole idea of giving Native Americans all this land back. We built the entire thing. So so people don't really understand that. Like, it would still... the country would look a lot different. Let's just say that. We occupied Greenland. You remember in the 1930s, the battle for Antarctica? I mean, Antarctica is like, it is, you know... People say there's secrets in Antarctica. I don't know, man. There's a pact that you can't... nobody gets Antarctica. I know Nazi... Dude, I watched the video. You know the videos where it shows, like... Every year goes by and it shows the certain flags when they control a certain plot of land, and they were showing Antarctica, and Nazi Germany had areas in Antarctica. I think, of course, the British did. I mean, the British had they had land everywhere. But the British Empire was always fake because they had like puppet leaders and none of it really connected. It was like they would try and say, well, the British Empire was bigger than the Mongol Empire. Dude, the Mongol Empire was fucking crazy. The Mongol Empire was insane at its height. Oh my god. And it is true that the map distorts Russia. Like, Russia's actually smaller in real life than it is on a map. So that makes it look even bigger, but it is still crazy the amount of land that they had. Like from Japan to the middle of Eastern Europe. Occupy Mars. There's a lot of meme coins about Mars. I'm trying to find the best meme coin about Mars, and it'll go to a billion at some point. What's the best Mars meme coin? Fox and Wall Street Journal seem to have liberal polls. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Wall Street Journal polls that are liberal. Remember Storm Area 51? the dumbass, the internet idea. Denmark has a very strong negotiating position right now. Buying it would require other investments, but why would they? A negotiation position. Their negotiation position is that we want to be peaceful. That's why they're able to negotiate. But I mean, their position is they control it, but they can't really extract the resources from it. I mean, it's a glacier. That's what Greenland is. It's just a giant glacier. The amount of money it's going to cost, I mean, in the end, it's going to pay for itself with the stuff we're able to extract from it. Louisiana Purchase cost in today's money $300 million. Midwest farmers production every year $150 billion. But that is just development. It's development of a country, but it is crazy what we've done in the United States, man. It's crazy. 150 billion. That's not even the full amount either. That's just the Midwest farmers. It's not even the full area that we bought. How many electoral votes would Greenland get? Well, it would probably get 0, but I would give it 1. I'd give it 1 electoral vote because I want it included on the map to show. But the only thing that I have a problem with is when it doesn't connect, because you want it to connect. It looks better like when you're an empire and it all connects. RFK's poll numbers went from 2.5% to 4.5% after the Joe Rogan. But well, I mean, I think that's a little bit different because he went on during the summer, and you're talking about like, I don't think that's really going to have that crazy of effect on Trump because RFK was like an independent choice and he needed publicity. It's a little bit different. Storm DC. Well, are you calling for another January 6th? Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the worst thing in history. Maybe Trump will call the National Guard there. Oh wait, the liberals denied it. I know Russia would be so angry if we bought Greenland. We gotta look into buying Greenland. I mean, I'd just like to see give us a quote on how much it would cost. Give me a quote on how much it would cost to redraw the borders with Mexico to have a connecting wall. Let's put up a NATO tax and then have them fund the wall. If Greenland gets an electoral vote, you have to give one to Puerto Rico. You know, I heard Puerto Rico was trending a little bit conservative, but it's still liberal for sure. I heard Brazil is a mess, dude. You're not going to want to buy Brazil. With where it's located in South America, I'd stay away from Brazil. There's a lot of crime in Brazil, man. A lot of crime. How far do you think AOC will get in 2020? I don't know if AOC will run in 2028. It might still be too young. Like, she might be still too young to do that. And remember, these politicians, they're very calculated that, you know, maybe she gets her feet wet. But I don't think she'll get very far in 2028. She'd be too young. I mean, there'd be a lot of young, like, college girls supporting her and stuff like that within the liberal, you know, Democratic primary. Can we sell California? Hell no, man. You know how much California is worth? Even though California is a shithole, we're not selling California. There's a lot of beautiful areas in California. I wonder if California ever will turn back to being more, maybe like more moderate or like, I don't know. I guess it's probably not going to happen with all the major cities like LA and San Fran and San Diego. Trump should, well, make NATO pay for the purchase of Greenland. No, there needs to be a NATO tax. Recolonize it. Dude, I was thinking, man, dude, you know, the craziest thing with Africa, if you go to Google Maps, I wonder if well, actually, I don't know if I don't want it to give away my address. If I go to Google Maps, will it automatically go to my address or not? I feel like on my phone, it automatically goes to my address. Yeah, it does. I don't know if it would do that here, but sell Maine to Canada? No, I wouldn't give up any land, man. I would just buy those territories. I wouldn't want to give up Maine personally. People were saying that we should buy land above Maine because there is like a little bit of Canadian land. Wait, what's to the east of Maine? Is it Newfoundland? I think. Yeah, imagine if I did that. But dude, you know what you know what I used to do is the amount of empty land in Africa is crazy. What you do is that I always use the satellite mode because it shows you like the actual real life stuff. You go to anywhere in the middle, just go to the middle of Africa, dude. But even like the Congo is just condensed trees for miles, and then like Northern Africa is just all desert. It's just all desert, and there's just coastline of nothing. It's just all of the coastline it's just so underdeveloped. It's crazy in Africa. New Brunswick. Yeah, that area is like an hour ahead of East Coast time. It's a real weird time zone. I'm not used to, it's like 1 hour ahead of us. You still have Dark Mag. I have both of them. I have the one on ETH. I think the one on ETH has been doing better recently. Yeah, I have the one on ETH and the one on Solana. I think the one on Solana is the main one, though, I would say. But the one on ETH, I mean, I've just got both of them because in case they do, one of them does well. Do I play GeoGuessr? No, I don't. I want to play that one. I got to get that one game, the Political Machine, and play that. Even in a private window, it zoomed in on your location. Well, I just wanted to look in like Africa. Just because of how empty it is, man. Newfoundland time zone is even weirder. 1.5 hours ahead of Really? It's an hour and a half? Dude, I feel like it always rains in Newfoundland. Last night I asked ChatGPT, what is the earliest the sunsets in Eastern time zone? And it's somewhere it's like really Eastern Maine. God, I forgot what city it was. It was something camp or something. It was something, but it sets at like 3:50. That's crazy, man. Because I live in Ohio. I'm still in the Eastern time zone, but you've got like Boston sets way earlier than me. Maine sets the earliest out of anyone. I mean, it sets at like 3:50. I mean, that's crazy, man. 3:50 in the afternoon, the sun sets. Can we put all the liberals on Greenland? Ha! Well, Greenland, you really can't. You can't really populate Greenland because of the weather. Honestly, I mean, go look at like the cities in Greenland. They look like it looks like slightly better version of those base camps they set up in Antarctica. They're like camps. They've all got like these white roofs and stuff, and they're all like these metal walls. Yeah, the Political Machine is only like $10. I saw. I'm gonna have to download it on Steam. Well, yeah, I mean, the United States has already claimed territory on Mars. It's under government administration. No, I'm kidding. I think the United States will claim it at a certain point. Greenland would make a good... Yeah, dude, we could have a pretty badass prison in Greenland. You send all the horrible prisoners to go into Greenland. But I would like to develop a nice city, maybe on the southern coast of Greenland, a vacation area. I wonder what the weather's like. One of the big problems with the United States in the lower 48, it's hot everywhere. Except like if you get into like, because another thing I looked up is like, what's the coldest place during the summer in the lower 48? And they actually said a higher elevated city in Colorado. That's what they said. Oh, it's in the 60s there. I need in like the 30s, man. The 60s. The political machine 2024 has a heavy political bias for Harris. Oh, dude, it was impossible to win with Trump in 2020. Impossible. Dude, you want to know that Obama is the GOAT at that game. If you pick Obama with the attributes, you'll win every time. You know, they've also got, you can import like the exclusive mode. They've got like Hitler, Stalin, other like Abraham Lincoln, all these other leaders and stuff. It's a mod, I think. Wyoming and Colorado, in terms of the coldest, I mean, yeah, it's just higher populated areas, but even Wyoming gets hot during the summer nowadays. You'll see Wyoming, I mean, Casper will be like 85, 90 degrees, I've seen. Anyone know what game? This is not a game, it's just a betting. You should buy the political machine and then do a whole stream just trying to lose with Obama. Well, I mean, I could lose with Obama by just not going and doing events, because you have to do events and you have to set up campaign headquarters. If you don't do that, you'll lose. But I'm just saying, it like when you play the game, it's very easy to win with Obama. Ohio State versus Oregon, great game. Great game. I thought Oregon was the better team. I mean, Ohio State very easily could have won at the end, but to me, Oregon was more efficient. They gained more yards per play. I mean, but it was very close. It was very, very close. You love me. Wow, what an amazing, what a romantic what a romantic gesture. Yeah, I know. Florence in California, they've got all the big prisoners, maximum security. It's 39 degrees in Maine right now. Man, you guys got to be ready for your first snow there soon, huh? You know, it's one of the most northern cities you can find is Yellowknife, Canada. It's always very cold in Yellowknife, but even Yellowknife during the summer gets up to like the 70s or 80s, I see. But there's even a colder place up there. I forget the name of it. It's like something, a lake or something in Canada. It's like 20 degrees right now. You're in Boston? Yeah, Boston gets dark really early. Boston gets way, because you're way more east than I am, but we're in the same time zone. I mean, it gets dark early here too, but Boston is next level. You were going to see JD Vance speak on Wednesday. Where's JD Vance going to be on Wednesday? What state? What are the popular vote odds for Trump? I think they're around 32%, which is a 7-point. Whitehorse? No, I don't think Whitehorse is more northern than Yellowknife. I think Yellowknife is the at least most occupied northern city in Canada. I mean, there's other cities that basically have no population or very limited, but in terms of an actual city that operates, I think Yellowknife is more northern than Whitehorse. $70 degrees in Dallas. Oh god, dude. Bro, that airport, Dallas Fort Worth Airport, is miserable with all those trams that you got to use to get to the terminals. Are not connected. You have to go through trams. It's real bad. Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Buy Bermuda. Well, if we bought Bermuda, you would put a big military base there, and then you could also put a massive prison there as well if you wanted, I guess. Pennsylvania and Williamsport. Yeah, I mean they're always in Pennsylvania, man. Stream the rally in Atlanta. Is that the rally with all women, or am I thinking of a different one? Yeah, I'll be live election night. You'll be seeing me on. Do you think Kamala and Joe Rogan? Dude, if Kamala does Joe Rogan, how seriously, like, I mean, it'll probably be 60 minutes. It's probably going to be like an hour 10. There's no way she stays on that podcast for 2 hours. How awkward is that going to be? That's going to be way worse than, I mean, it's going to be so awkward if Kamala does the podcast with Rogan. I would actually love to see that. Because it would be Rogan trying to like be professional, but it's just like they've got, it's just awkward, man. It's just so awkward. Any places that you plan on traveling to the future? Well, I want to move to the middle of the country, preferably. But in terms of traveling to a place, I mean, I don't know, man. I've never been someone that, I mean, dude, I actually have been to a lot of places, but like mainly vacation spots. But I've been to like a few different countries, but nothing in Europe, though. Nothing in Europe. I've never been to Europe. Republican candidate in 2100. Yeah, I'll be a robot by that point. The main question for Elon Musk, what is his plan with his body? Does he want to freeze his brain? What is the technology behind that? What do we think about cryosleep? Yeah, Elon's been on Rogan like I think 3 times at this point. Will election night be the biggest stream? For my biggest stream, probably, I would say. I feel like they're setting her up to fail if she goes on Rogan, because it would just be so awkward, man. I should vacation in Greenland. Trump should travel to Greenland and take a scope of the land. See if it's viable. See if it's viable for mining operations. Just mine directly into the glacier. Go look up Greenland on the satellite version of Google Maps. It's just a massive glacier. I should move to Virginia. I was looking at Virginia a little bit, but I don't think I'll go to Virginia. No, Virginia's a decent, there's some decent suburbs in Virginia, some surrounding areas. Really nice weather, too. Any idea when Trump will be on Rogan? It's unknown right now. I would say within the next 2 weeks. So it'll be this week or next week. They're not going to want to do it that crazy close to the election. At least I don't think they will. So I would say it's in the next 2 weeks. First state called on election night. It's always Indiana. How much do you think Harris is going on Fox News will help her? I mean, probably not much at all, unless she does well, which seems unlikely based off of her 60 Minutes appearance. Will you be watching CNN? Yeah, I'll be watching something in the background, probably mainly CNN, but also probably Fox News flipping. Do you think Justin Trudeau is worse than Kamala? Well, I think thankfully Justin Trudeau, I think technically has more power. He's actually the leader there, but I think he's gone, thankfully. Some parts of Virginia and North Carolina are colder than Ohio. Well, it depends where you live in Ohio. Southern Ohio is not too bad. Depends where you live. Worried about the GOP getting complacent? I don't think so, man. Not with an election. I mean, an election is once every 4 years. I mean, if they get complacent, it's their own faults because they lost in 2020. You can't get complacent. You know, you're coming off a loss. If anything, the Democrats would be the ones that are complacent. They've been in office 12. They've had the presidency 12 of the last 16 years. Because Obama was 2 terms, and then Trump for 4, and then Biden. Where will Trump build his library? You know what that reminds me of? What airport are they going to name after Trump? Do you think that would happen? We got JFK and stuff. Trump Airport. I mean, it does kind of work. Thoughts on Lunchly? I never understood that stuff. I don't understand. It's crackers. How is crackers a lunch? How is that a meal? It's a cracker. That's not a meal. It doesn't make any. Even if you're a younger kid, I never had I never had lunch. I never had crackers as a meal. I don't eat crackers and cheese is not a meal. Even if I'm 7 years old, I'm not taking crackers and cheese. I mean, it's not a meal. I mean, you're 10 years old. You get crackers. I mean, it just doesn't. Come on. I know they've got smaller stomachs they can digest. You know, it fills up. But is the media turning against Kamala? I mean, I think some of them are seeing the writing on the wall that she's just not a very good candidate. It's becoming obvious. And I mean, CNN's done some things that are kind of. I mean, they're still championing her. They're still saying she's better than Trump, but. Yeah, I used to watch Malcolm in the Middle when I was younger. God, I haven't seen that show in forever, but I used to watch a lot of Malcolm in the Middle. DJT Airport in Florida. Yeah, people are saying somewhere in Florida there'll be a Trump airport. Republican ticket in 2028, Vance Ramaswamy. That's a beast of a ticket, I would say. I know, Greater Idaho, man. I'm interested to see what happens. So that's a situation where a bunch of counties have to come together, and I mean, I think it would give Idaho another electoral vote and take one away from Oregon. So that'd be a +2 net for Republicans. But I don't know, man. I mean, that's like, it is an extreme thing because it's just based off of the way the state is situated. The one massive liberal center is right on the coast, and then pretty much everything, or most everything to the east of it is conservative. And so they want to break off and join Idaho because Idaho is conservative. And I mean, it would make for a really weird map. I would be kind of disappointed with the map just because it would look weird to see Oregon that small and kind of scrunched up against the coast. And that would be kind of, I mean, Idaho would be going through an expansion. What about South Dakota and trying to take over North Dakota? No, I'm kidding. That's not happening. Yeah, I did watch iCarly when I was younger. Listen, I watched iCarly, Victorious, probably some other, Zoe 101. I mean, it's your typical, middle class white kid. That's what we watched. We would watch Full House at night, the reruns of Full House on Teen Nick and stuff. What if it's like 120 crackers? Well, it's crackers in general. It's not a functional snack because it makes you thirsty, man. It's just you can't eat crackers and not be uncomfortable. You're gonna be uncomfortable. But crackers is like the new slur for us white people, I guess, right? Texas should invade California. Not possible. It's they're not gonna mobilize an army to. Where would they invade from, brother? Come on. Why the fuck is Trump not doing any events in Virginia? I'm guessing his people probably don't think they can win Virginia. That would be my guess. I for sure thought he was going to do at least one big time rally in Virginia with Youngkin and Tulsi. That's what I thought, but I guess it's not happening. Yeah, I watched a little bit regular show, not a ton. Wash it down with Prime. Dude, Prime is like this. I mean, it's how sour is Prime? When I was working out, once I got Prime, and it was just like this. Like you have to water. If you ever got Prime, you have to water it down because of how sour, how sweet it is. I mean, that's what young kids like. It's what young kids like. When I was younger, it was Gatorade, but now they got they got the Prime and stuff. So I understand young kids like it. I guess Prime energy. It's like 15 calories or something. Yeah, Zoe 101 is where I think Jamie Lynn Spears got pregnant, so they had to shut the show. I mean, that was a good show. It only lasted 4 seasons. It's disappointing. Do you work out? I used to work out a lot. Not recently, though. The last rally is in New York. Trump's last rally this campaign cycle is in New York, you're saying? Yeah, Prime, the artificial sweeteners in Prime are not good, man. Yeah, I used to have Powerade. I mean, Powerade is. You could argue some of the Powerade flavors are better. I mean, I think actually, you know what? Gatorade went through a rebrand. Like, it was probably 10 years ago. Dude, you remember how terrible G6 was or whatever the hell that was? That shit was horrible. I got that one time for a baseball game. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, zero sugars G6. It was terrible. Oh my god, we're not gonna go over Lickman's keys again, man. No, we're not doing that. Come on. Your home state of Louisiana is a battleground state? You're delusional. You're delusional. Make America healthy again? RFK Jr. RFK Jr. wants to do that. You drink Powerade every day? Typical American diet. Powerade, Coke Zero. Thoughts on vitamin water? Dude, I remember I was on vacation once when I was like 10 years old. We went to, what was South Carolina or something, Hilton Head. I remember I was so thirsty. I woke up. I was so thirsty. And you rent those condos and when you go on vacation. So we were in a condo and stuff. So I went downstairs. I went to the fridge. You know how those condo fridges are? There's not much in there. It's just you just bought a bunch of stuff. And I thought it was just pure water. But it was like flavored water, and it was the worst. I mean, I don't mind flavored water. I don't know what it was, but it was like the worst thing I ever tasted. This is probably like 2010. It was like so bad. It's like pitch black at night in this condo. I mean, I was so thirsty, but I was like, what in the because I thought you're expecting it just to be water, and then it's like, what in the fuck is this? It might have been like grape flavored. I mean, I don't even dislike grape, but it was just like, I vividly remember that. I remember eating Play-Doh when I was younger. It was disgusting because it was like, it's colorful and stuff. It's disgusting. Can I drop the Discord link? Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that in a second, man. Dude, I remember playing Mario Kart on my DS. I got a DS in like 2011, 2010. It was Mario Kart is great. It's a great game. But I never played on the Wii or anything like that. It was just my DS. I had the Mario Kart. And then you get into first place with a rocket. Have you ever tried to just purposefully be in last place and then get the rocket and then get to first place and then deploy the rocket when you're in first place? But then there's no timer. It only lasts like a second. Would you rather watch Morning Joe or The View for an hour? Probably if I want, probably Morning Joe. I don't know, man. I can't do it with The View. Depends who is the guest on The View. Who's the guest? If the guest is JD Vance, I'll choose The View. Orange juice or apple juice? I would say apple juice. You got the 3DS? Really? Yeah, I remember the 3DS. Remember you could play Guitar Hero from the from the DS? There's like an extension. Guitar Hero, what a game that was. Legendary game. Would you rather have Los Angeles break away from Nevada or Chicago break? I mean, what do you mean break away? As in like it's its own state? Is that what you're saying? Like Las Vegas becomes its own state within Nevada? David Pakman. Pakman's so condescending. Or MSNBC. Oh, God, dude. Probably Pakman. Dude, MSNBC. I tried watching MSNBC during the RNC, and it was just such. They weren't even at the RNC. They were using a green screen because they knew they'd get booed. Who remembers they weren't even at the RNC? Joy Reid or Maddow? Is that the question? I don't know. Reid has just gotten so deranged. It's hard to. Probably Maddow. Best college town airport in America? College town airport. I have no fucking clue, man. I wouldn't be the guy to answer that. Would you be sad if LA fell into the ocean? I think we need to change. We need to. This would be interesting if both California and Texas declared their independence. It'd be interesting. It would not be good. I'm just saying it'd be interesting. Tech Geo 4. Trump GOP wins in 2024, retakes Senate, might hold the House, but Democrats raised so much with Kamala, they have massive war chest for 2026 midterms. Yeah, no, I have heard the midterms are more favorable to the Democrats, but normally the midterms are more favorable to whoever loses the presidential election, but I have heard that, and I'm sure we're going to hear that. That's why we would really like Trump to run up the Senate numbers, like, and get like 53 or 54 seats, because he could win with 52, but it's like, you have all these races that, you know, that Ohio race, I mean, I think they've given up Montana, but the Ohio race is so important. You would love to get one of the Rust Belt Senate seats, just one of them at least. Rogers, McCormick, maybe. Obviously, you got to hold on to Texas. That's a must. But, like, try and get, like, 53, 54 Senate seats, something like that. I hope they call us racist. Again, fascist is too much. Well, they'll do both. They'll say racist, fascist, misogynist, transphobic. I mean, we got to hit all the bingo cards. "2026 will be a bad year for Republicans." I've heard that. I'm gonna have to look at what races are up in 2026 during the midterms, but I heard it was not good. Rasmussen says they can get 55. I mean, I would love to see that analysis on them, on Republicans getting 55 seats. Senate races. They've got 50-50 Ohio Senate. Or are they saying maybe Arizona? Maybe Lake wins Arizona. I don't know, man. There's a lot of bad polls in Arizona for Lake. But I think it's going to be close. The thing is, if Trump can win Arizona by like 3.5, I think Lake has a chance to win. Obviously, Republican has to win in Nebraska. They're trying to get an independent there. Liberals say an independent's going to win in Nebraska. Republicans got an 80% chance. Pennsylvania's close, but Virginia, they've been talking about Virginia. I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, if McCormick and Lake, but I think you probably need even more after that to get to 55, even with McCormick and Lake. You need someone else, and you need to hold on to every seat as well. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this live stream. I did do about an hour 45 or so, about an hour 40. That was an amazing thing that Carrie Lake said. I've been to the border probably more times than you've been to Arizona. And just the way she said it. It was a really... It was a funny moment because apparently that dude lives in D.C. How is he going to win? He lives in D.C. I've been to the border more times probably than you've been to Arizona. What about the Discord link? All right, just stay in the chat. I'll get you the Discord link, man. I'll get you the Discord link.